want it all, but I don't pay. Time makes a fool forever. When you don't make a difference, still you don't mean a thing without it.
Sorry about that.
I found the space to catch your breath, 'cause maybe we should know better than holding on forever for something that's no better than this. So please don't take me home. I wanna stop. You can't give me something that I've got. Please don't take me home. I want it all to cure my senses.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
Live for Daytona International Speedway, we are ready to rock and roll and get ready for season number 3 of Sim500 Racing here on the Captain Esports Network. And get you ready for 200 miles of racing tonight in the NC811 Xfinity Series. I am the captain. We welcome you in on this Sunday evening. And forgive me, I'm having a little small hiccup that I'm fixing right now as we go on the air. But everything is good to go. We are rocking, and we are ready to go for the 3rd season of racing here on the Captain Esports Network. We're about 15 minutes or so from the green flag kicking off, but a lot of great things about to happen here as NC811 has returned for another season of racing here with Sim500. And not to mention, we are starting earlier than we ever have in Sim500 and in this Xfinity season. The reason being, even last year, they moved up the races, but if you remember correctly, they still ended towards the beginning of football season and even into it. And of course, they don't want to interlap with the season itself. So because of that, they moved up the season into January. So with the schedule, they're going to push now into the end of August, basically, and be done. We'll be done with this series, and then football season kicks off, of course, that next weekend for Labor Day, and so on and so forth. But we are ready to go for racing here from Daytona International Speedway, as a lot of big things about to happen. Good news, no rule changes to talk about at all. We don't have to worry about talking about those kind of things. The playoffs are still the same. 16 drivers will race at the end of the season for 8 races. Of course, there'll be 4, then the cutoff to 8, and then a 4 more cutoff to 8. There are, however, some rule changes that we are going to be looking at, and I went through the website and took a look. One of the big ones is going to be penalties. Of course, when you have a series that, yeah, you have the admins are in the race, it makes it very tough for those people to admin a race, basically. So you have to do the honor system when it's over with. So because of that, there's a rule going into play that they're going to look at the admins after the race if there's any clearance of a flag. And if it turns out to be some kind of a, hey, the guy's trying to get an advantage type of flag clearing, there's going to be a penalty, a point penalty in play for that. So that's one of the couple of interesting rule changes I happen to notice going into this season. We got some new tracks on the schedule this season. The Milwaukee Mile will be on the schedule this season, which is cool. The Rockingham Speedway, North Carolina Motor Speedway, as we know it as, it'll be on the schedule this season. Otherwise, 28 ovals ready to go. We're going to some tracks twice. We will go to the 3 super speedway events if you don't count Atlanta. Otherwise, there's 5 super speedway races on the schedule this season. It is going to be a fantastic and jam-packed season here on the Captain Esports Network. I've spent the last couple weeks working myself to get this stream updated to bring the viewers and let you guys have a great time here and enjoying the broadcast. And a big shout out to, again, those guys at nc811.org for sponsoring the series, and also Sim500 for allowing the Captain Esports Network to come back and be a part of this season. So I definitely am happy to be a part of that. So did you know there was one driver last season out of all of this? There wasn't much consistency on super speedway races. There were 3 that were ran when you don't count Atlanta, Daytona twice, and then there was 1 race at Talladega. Only 1 driver in the whole entire field had top 10s in all 3 races. Otherwise, I mean, the average finish was above 10. I would say like 15 plus. I didn't really get a chance to do the math too much when it was all said and done. But there was 1 driver that did. And I did the research on this, and I'm going to bring that driver up right now and have a quick little chat with him. He has no clue I'm about to drop this factual stuff on him, and that being the driver of the number 93. If is he not in chat? He's in the race, but he hasn't shown up in Discord. You know, we'll come back to him, but that's Kevin DeBrown, basically. He hasn't come out of his hauler yet, and that's because he won at Talladega, had a top 5 in this race at Daytona last season, and then a top 10 at the last Daytona race in August, I believe it was, when that event was held. However, one guy that is in here, and we can cut to him real quick, would be the winner of last season's race. It ended up being one of his only wins on the campaign in a year where he had his ups and downs, and that would be the Midwest native. I'm not going to say the state because I don't remember. But that's Mike Kelly, who joins us here up in the booth. Mike, man, welcome back for another season of racing here. Daytona, of course, you were the one that went to victory lane in what was a wild finish last season.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. That's good to know, because Scotty won on Wednesday night in the truck series in a wild finish. So if I could back that up and match that, that'd be a pretty good start for Turn 1 Heroes, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm looking real quickly here. We got 38 cars that have showed up for this. We got a few rookies out there, some new names. Obviously, got the familiar names. What is there any kind of expectations here tonight?
Just survive. I mean, when you come to Daytona, like Wednesday night in the truck series, I started in the back and rode around and missed some big wrecks and got up to the end where I was battling for second place and got wrecked with 6 laps to go. So there's nowhere to hide. All you can do is go out and race and have a good time and hope to be alive at the end when they all go crashing across the finish line.
How much of that is luck when it's over with? Is it 100% luck? Is it 80%? Is it even lower? And because it looks like you could easily say, oh, it's 100% luck, but you do got to be able to drive a car.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly luck, especially in sim racing, and that's not a knock on any of the drivers.
Right.
I mean, we do a fantastic job in the packs that we drive in and the things that we do, but at the end of the day, the way iRacing is set up, as generally speaking, I mean, even if there's no yellows, generally speaking, you're in a pack at the end of these races, and I don't think anybody drives dirty or does anything wrong. It's just the nature of the beast that a lot of, more times than not, you're crashing when you come across that finish line. So you can do everything perfect all day and, just not make it to the end and finish 30th. So it can be really frustrating. But for like Scotty, who was like 19th when he crossed for the white flag and ended up winning the race, you got the opposite end of that spectrum too, where it's just like unbelievable and it's really cool. So it's just fun to do, but it's hard to survive.
Now, one thing that this league is very notorious for, they try to make the track as slick as possible. I don't even know if that's notorious, maybe famous for, will be a better way of wording it, but they like to make the track as slick as possible because they want the racers to race, basically, when it's over with. Are you feeling anything tonight with this being a midday race in the Xfinity car out here?
I haven't. I probably I probably should get in a bigger pack, but I haven't felt any looseness, but I have seen a couple replays where guys in the pack have just spun out. So loose in, if you get in a big pack at this car, sometimes, if you jump off the gas and you're turning into the corner, which happens a lot because
Yeah.
you've got a big run on a guy and you come in and you jump off the gas and then it just all of a sudden gets away from you. So if that's a quirk of this particular build in this car, we could see some big ones tonight.
As I think about it too, I think we had that back in that last Daytona race we had last season in this car. If I remember correctly, we had a couple of those loose on entry type of moments.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very good point. So, hey, man, we wish you the best of luck. Appreciate your time. And who knows, maybe we'll be talking to you in Victory Lane again.
Let's hope so. That'd be fun. I'd like to survive. I've had a rough few. With the Christmas break, seems like a long time, but I've been having trouble getting any kind of good finish. So I'm hoping luck's on my side tonight. Yeah, thanks for having me up here, and good luck on the broadcast.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy. That's Mike Kelly in the 2 car, as he is a part of the Turn 1 Heroes, and he'll be racing for the win here tonight. One of the happiest men in this league probably tonight, not because of anything to do with the league, but more because of what he went through here this evening just a little bit ago, is probably this guy right here. The winner from that August Daytona race, getting that first win in the Xfinity Series, Anthony Calantoni and his, whatever you want to call it, car, the New York Giants mobile. After his win tonight, Anthony, I know you're there, ready to race here tonight. Can we get another win here at Daytona?
We're definitely going to try, Chris. Maybe we'll try and back the win up that the Giants got today over Philly, and maybe we'll get this brand new Talking Giants Chevrolet in Victory Lane tonight.
Good to see the Talking Giants John Boy Media car back out here on the track here this season. Obviously, you have shown your super speedway prowess. I hate to say it in the montage that you saw at the beginning. There's the video of you in the Daytona 500K last season, but you bounced back. You came back here and went to Victory Lane. What is it that makes you so good or lucky or whatever you want to call it here at this kind of track?
You just said luck. It's all luck. I try to be real patient in the first half, even 3/4 of the race, and then you let everyone else go and destroy themselves, and you just try and be there at the end and try and put yourself in the right position. It's hard trying to time out when to make the move and when to go out or make this move, because sometimes you make it, they go at you, and then you get in freight trained and you're going back to 15th or something.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, wish you the best. You're getting ready to qualify here in a couple minutes, so we'll let you go. And best of luck tonight in that Talking Giants 84 car.
Thanks, Chris. Hopefully we'll be talking to you in Victory Lane.
Sounds good, my friend. Be safe. That's Anthony Calantoni, of course, who, that Talking Giants, it's a podcast that is part of John Boy Media. So pretty big deal there. Of course, Justin and Bobby and those guys do a pretty good job. We'll get him down to his chat there. There he is. And real quickly, before we get to qualifying, want to point out something about a driver. And something that's kind of new. One of the ideas that was brought up in the survey I did earlier, or late last season. At the end, I kind of brought it out to all the drivers. I said, what do you guys want to see? Because I want to improve the broadcast on my end. I want to work on continuing to be the best broadcast out there, which is going to be hard because there's so many good ones out there and that kind of thing. But what can we do? And one of the things that somebody brought up was put a feature on of drivers, kind of a get to know type of segment. So with that said, we do have a pretty good get to know segment. We're going to go down to let's see if he's out there on the track. Actually, he is right now. He's P2 on the grid. And I think I figured out the perfect guy we should start this with. And that would be, last season's champion. And that being Pedro Mojica. He's back in that black and red number 58 car that made him pretty popular last season. You see him in the draft with a couple cars there. But Pedro Mojica, some interesting facts I want to drop here on him. And I learned some stuff in just the couple of sentences he put here about the driver that is from Texas. Now, interesting enough, when he's not racing, he's watching football. So I'm sure he's been enjoying what action he's been able to see on the field and stuff now before getting back on the track. He currently works as a simulation engineer at General Motors Motorsports Department. So he's been within the racing industry going on 10 years now. So you think this is a side job basically for him. He does this for real life, basically. I mean, I don't know the details of what he does, but he's a simulator guy. So no wonder why he's so good on a track like this. But the most important part, and this backed me up a little bit when I saw this, I was like, holy cow. And this is what I like about this. And you're going to see more of this on the Scalacast podcast that kicks off tomorrow night when I bring drivers in to talk to them about things. He is a cancer survivor. Had leukemia at the age of 6, and he's been in remission since 2000. That caught me off guard and really kind of humbled me there for a second to see that story there from Pedro Mojica, the champion of not only the Xfinity Series last season, but the Cup Series. He became the first driver to win both series in one season, and that gives me the chance here. Let's bring Pedro up before qualifying kicks off here in just a moment. Slide down here to team name and grab Pedro. And Pedro, thanks. I know you're out there leading a pack right now, so good luck with this while we're doing this. Obviously, just did a little talking about you. Obviously, some personal notes there as we get to know you a little bit. And obviously, as you shared with your job status, you kind of have a little practice at doing this. But obviously, that helps a lot with what you got going on here tonight. But more bigger thing you have is you got to back up that championship that you won last season. And now you're here tonight to try to win at Daytona, which seemed to be your big hindrance last year. Why you avoided a nice wreck there.
Yeah, Chris, speedways have been kind of hit or miss for me. It's just kind of, I mean, it's like everybody else. It's a cyclical thing with racing super speedways. So, but yeah, I mean, hopefully we can have a decent run. I mean, to end, at least on Sundays, like to end the speedway stuff off, we finished second at Daytona.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that practically solidified the championship for us going into the last race. So, like, we can have a good night. It's just avoiding the wrecks and stuff. So, usually beginning of the season, you just got to be a little bit more careful. A lot more people show up, a lot of new faces and stuff. Just kind of learning how everybody races. So, it'll be interesting to see, like, how this race plays out. I feel like it might be a couple more cautions than normal. So, we'll just have to watch out for all that stuff.
Didn't mean to cut you off there. I know you got to get ready to go qualify. So we'll let you go do that in that 58 car. Go win a pole. Go get Dalton.
We'll see. I might pull a strategy starting the back for this one and just kind of let things play out, see how it looks.
All right, buddy. Hey, appreciate your time.
Yep.
All right, Pedro Mojica there in the 58 car. So he's going to go start in the back. So we'll see what happens here tonight. But obviously some great stuff there on Pedro. If we get a chance, we'll talk to him again here throughout qualifying. So let's get out here and watch a couple laps on the track here. Let's check out one of the new drivers, the 15 car of Alan Wild, as he is on track here in that 15 car, one of the many Sim 500 and NC811 cars you will see throughout the season. Of course, another season of having the wonderful group of people there in as a sponsor, which is fantastic news here as we get ready for season number 3 here on the Captain Esports Network, officially about to kick off here momentarily. And we'll try to keep track of those cars, obviously, throughout the season and show you who's running where. And probably get you some lessons on 811 and who knows, maybe you can get a chance to talk to some of the representatives and stuff like that as Wild crosses the line. And he has P2 right now with a 50.90 second lap. So good lap there so far from Wild. As I'm trying to get your timing and scoring set up here. Just give me a second. Oh, that's what's blocking it. There we go. So Gonzalez up at the top right now, 50.62 seconds. The pole lap, Montesi second, Ferrari, Simley, and Wild, your top 3. And you'll see the positions move around here. You'll see plenty of cars yet to qualify as Allen goes up there with 50.572. However, we have not seen those restrictor plate monsters, if you will, out here on the track yet. One of them being Tyler Dalton, the other one being Tommy Ryan. There is Tommy in the Northern Tool Car back out there on the track as Calatoni goes 50.5. Trevor Hunt, newcomer there, 50.52. Jeff Ryan, a 52. Tommy going to go to that apron. That's the advantage that some people don't know about. And Tommy, 5,500 exactly. Outruns Tyler by 12/100ths of a second. You think there's a little battle between them two for the pole each week when it comes to the super speedways? Tommy finding a way to do it. 28 cars so far have run a lap. Trevor Hunt there, third. Great run for him. Bob Gillenwater making a return. Brent Scott there in the 8th position. Wesley Donaldson jumps up to 7th. As got a little less than a minute to go. EJR Work up to 23rd. You see the cars filling in their spots. There's your top 30 up there on the screen right now. Jimmy Coleman jumping up to the 5th position. Joe Hudson up to 10th. Yeah, this happened so quick, it was kind of crazy, needless to say. Of course, our pole award presented by 811. No, it's below. Call before you dig with 811. Tommy's still there. Jimmy Coleman there in P5. Who else has got laps? Mac McMillan up there in the 8th position for him. And we have got a lot of cars going to be starting in the back as Tommy Ryan is going to win the 811 pole awards. Congratulations to him as Joey Jatina slots in to P13. We are going to step away for a second and hear our national anthem here on the Captain Esports Network.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well done with the national anthem. Let's take you down trackside now. The starting lineup for race 1 here at Daytona. Tommy Ryan, 50.500 second lap, gets itself another Daytona pole. He and the other super speedway qualifying kings, Tyler Dalton, will start there in the outside of row 1. Trevor Hunt, row number 2, will start inside of Jeff Ryan, the brother there of Tommy. Jimmy Coleman making a return to the series tonight, starts inside of row number 3 alongside Bob Gillenwater. Nelson Bravera and Mac McMillan in row number 4. Wesley Donaldson, Randy Yoakum, they'll take the 5th row. Joe Hudson, Brent Scott. Brent going to start there in the 12th position. Great qualifying effort for him. Anthony Calantoni will start alongside Joey Jatina, the boss man there inside of row number 7. Alan Wild, New England driver, and Mike Montesi in row number 8. Matthew Martell in the 17th position alongside that driver, the only one to finish in the top 10 all 3 races at super speedways last year, Kevin DeBrown. Again, that's not counting the Atlanta Motor Speedway, by the way. Josh Connors, Robert Fryman the 3rd there in row number 10. Braxton DeWeese and Terry Lambert in row number 11. Scott Simley, Kevin Stone in row 12. You're going to see a lot of new names here. Glenn Campbell, Eric Arnold, one of the more aggressive drivers in this series, starting 26th. John Schweikart and Chad Coleman in row 14. Jose Speedy Gonzalez and Ron Holyfield in row 15. Row 16 is E.J. O'Rourke and Mike Kelly. Row number 16, Pedro Mojica. There's the champ alongside good friend David Comstock. Stephen Miles making his debut in the series tonight alongside Jason Karlovj, I believe is how that name is pronounced, in the 18th row. 19th row, Charles Van Schaik, Josh Parker, Andrew Teff, Doug Sigmund, Gerald Livingston will round out the grid of 41 cars about to take the green flag here at Daytona. Race information. 80 laps, 200 miles tonight, 79 degrees with partly cloudy skies, 43% humidity. Straight up, 80 laps in one of the best super speedway series, or I should say series to watch a super speedway race, if I can speak, it'd be a miracle, on is right here in Sim 500. Sit back as we start the 2024 NC811 Xfinity Series with Ryan and Dalton on the front row. As per usual, our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As those cars down the back straightaway 2 by 2, and you're going to see 2, you're going to see 3, you're going to see racing that in an official race or maybe in some leagues, people are going to be like, what are you doing already? But here it's just normal when it's all said and done. I found that out the hard way a couple seasons ago when they ran a Super Speedway series that we broadcasted here on the Captain Esports Network. Tommy Ryan leading lap 1. Tyler Dalton stuck up there on that high side by himself. He's got the 54, Jimmy Coleman there. Also Nelson Rivera there. There's the 3 of Jeff Ryan. These guys kind of giving each other some space out here, which is definitely a good thing to see. Yeah, it's an awesome looking paint schemes. Thomas S. watching on the stream. Chris DeWeese tonight. Watching here this evening. Captain, the other captain we'll call him. I want to say the name, but I'm just careful with it. But, of course, that being Josh Gagnon watching. Devin Ramsey, Aaron Thomas back. Atomic Burrito, the spotter for the 91 car. Wesley Donaldson. But Thomas saying some good looking cars out there. Agreed 120%. Appreciate everybody watching here this evening. Share it. Share with friends. Share with family. Let's get some viewers in here to watch tonight. Over 20 watching strong, as I talked about already. Here we go with the 3 wideness. Couple 811 cars up the middle. Got some cars moving around. Nelson Rivera looking to make moves. One of the longer breaks that this series ever had between Xfinity 8s. The last race of the season, of course, came in September. We're now in January, basically. And back on the track, these guys are rocking and rolling. See Rivera, and there's Tommy Ryan. Getting a good push from that 59. 3 wide, almost 4 or 5 rows deep. You got some cars hanging kind of back a little bit. That's what this product is. So, of course, they do have the similar race configuration as they had last year. 100% race fuel. They have 3 sets of tires. They have, oh boy, this is the sucker hole right here. Oh, there they go. Contact already. As they scatter, a couple cars have gone around Jeff Ryan. Wesley Donaldson's involved. I was a little worried when that car, I think that was Tommy, I couldn't tell, kind of got himself in a bad position there. I'm like, uh-oh. And caution out lap number 6. That's Glenn Campbell coming down pit road along with the one of Schweikart. Wesley's car destroyed. Montesi's car destroyed. See if we can. Looks like the replay or the wreck already happened there. Let's go back a little bit more here and see some of the avoidance and where it all started here. There's Wesley already damaged, so. I mean, it started up front where they were pretty much 4 wide. Got to go further back, it looks like. Looks like Calantoni maybe went off track there too, so. Just give me one little second here. We'll get it for you. All right, here we go. So let's stop here for a second. So where I was wearing, that was Tommy, by the way. That 99 car, I mean, that 59 tried to squeeze it in right there. And Tommy's in a bad spot right here. And my first thought was like, uh-oh. And that's exactly what happened here. A chain reaction breaks up because the 59 really can't check up much. Tommy's going to come down thinking he's clear because he really doesn't have a choice here, being 3 and almost 4 wide this early in the race. And you're going to see right there contact from Randy Yoakum into Wesley Donaldson. Jatina is going to get clipped, and around goes to 3 also. Jimmy Coleman's going to slide through. It's Kevin Brown with some damage. You know what? I don't know if many cars got involved in this thing. I mean, I literally see 3 cars in this wreck, and that's it. I mean, everybody scatters, cars going down pit road and stuff. I mean, that could have been a lot worse than it really was. All right, I'm going to try to back it up here a little bit more and see if we can get you a good view of this. Right there's that contact. And I don't know if Yoakum got loose or what. Contact there. Yeah, I mean, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 cars maybe? And that's it. Wow, that could have been a lot worse than it really was. And caution out here for the first time. At Daytona. And cars having to tow back to pit road. I'm starting to wonder if my live button's not working all of a sudden here. What's going on? There we go. All right. What was I saying? Am I having more issues? So we did have a lot of cars come to pit road there. Unfortunately, I don't have the timing and scoring now with me having to update everything just there to tell you who came to pit road or what. But a lot of the leaders came to pit road. Tyler Dalton has stayed out. He's going to take the inside lane here. Nelson Rivera, Tommy Ryan, Mac McMillan, and others. Jason, you in chat still? Jason, the spotter for Wesley. Let me know if you are, please. Otherwise, we'll see if we can get a word. I'll talk to his PR guy and see if we can get Jason in here for, or not Jason, but Wesley in for an interview. I'm sure he's not going to be happy to end his season like that. So one thing about this track, Daytona's getting slicker and slicker. And, I got you. So, this track's getting slicker and slicker, so it's going to make it very tough. And the one thing that the two of Mike Kelly brought up there before the race was how this car did have a tendency, and I thought about it last season, it did do this a couple times in the race, where it actually spun itself out on the entry of the corner because of how warm the temperatures are. As a matter of fact, that's not the button I was looking for. Let's prop the weather up real quickly here. As you see, look at the track tempo here, far right side, 130 degrees right now on the track. Every race is May 15th. It's warm, it's hot. That's what they do here in this Sim500 Xfinity Series. Into the Geico restart zone, which is where the restarts take place. Back to green. Tyler Dalton and Nelson Rivera lead him to the green. Already front four going single file here. That's fair. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to try to do racing or crash interviews this season too. That's another upgrade that we're trying to do. I'm just being careful with it because obviously people are going to be mad and that kind of thing, and we don't want adult language flying out there on the air, especially with the great people and great national sponsorships that you have around. So Robert Flowery III going to take that outside lane, going to go to the top side. That's at 5. Braxton DeWeese there, about the 6th car in line. BDR on that car. Kevin DeBrown, probably the most aggressive super speedway racer I know of. Okay, maybe second. There's one other guy. I can't. His name starts with M. That's pretty good for those who don't know who I'm talking about. His name's Matt Telder. Pretty aggressive on super speedways. I mean that in a positive way. But Kevin DeBrown, if you need somebody to push you, don't lift. I ran last year, as a matter of fact, in the Trans-Service Truck Series race at Daytona. And needless to say, I was wrecked in turn 3 on the final lap. Kevin DeBrown was pushing me, and I couldn't handle it. I'm just going to be straight up honest. As Tommy Ryan returning to the front. And that right there is proof, by the way. I mean, Tommy Ryan, one of the best super speedway racers out there, had himself in a bad spot there. And it just shows you that people do make mistakes when it's all over with. All right, let's bring Wesley up here and have a chat with the 91 car. He's down here. Obviously not going to be a happy camper and totally understand. Obviously, Wes, what did you see from your side there up ahead there? It just was mayhem, it looked like.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on really early in the race there. I saw it looked like cars kind of fanning out a little bit up in front of me. Looked like they kind of got 4 wide up there. So I think I followed Jimmy a little bit down and kind of clipped the apron, and then all of a sudden I'm sideways, and that was kind of about it.
What was the feel of the track? Were you starting to feel any kind of slickness at all? Was there a lot of grip in it, or is it just the tires not worn out enough at that point?
I mean, I didn't feel too much yet, but I know with the heat in the track, it's been slick, especially down on like the apron and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it'd be real easy that if you took a bump and got down there, or you're trying to get off pit road, it's going to be tough tonight.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I'm sorry to see what happened here early in this race. I know you were excited for this, along with the truck series, and I know you've been taking on some responsibility, so appreciate what you're doing, and keep your head up, and hopefully we can fire back at Homestead next week.
Thanks, Chris. We'll see you then.
You too, buddy. Wesley Donaldson, obviously, you can hear the disappointment in his voice, but appreciate him taking the time, and thank you, Jason, for helping set that up. But we got a nominee already for Craziest Photo of the Year. Josh Connors in the giraffe Why can't his name be Jeffrey? Going up here in the 10th position. That's, I think, 2 interesting photos I've seen so far, if I can find the other one. Of course, you got Kevin Brown and his cat, topside, with the 81 sponsorless Josh Parker. You want a car that can win a race? You want to put your name on it? That 81 car is a pretty good one. Oh, 59. Oh. Some contact with the 5 there. Everybody checks up. Good job. That kind of got squirrely. One car looks like heading for the apron there, trying to get out of the way as we ride with that Talking Giants car. You see back towards a little bit of a split up pack now. There's that 5 car to his outside. Mac McMillan up to the front there in an 88 car. I'm going to hold back from Mac jokes. I don't know him well enough to do. Of course, you know my very terrible jokes I like to do. But you see Tommy getting that push from the 59 there behind him. Rivera doing a great job. How about this 59 car? You just saw him kind of bobble there. There's the other weird photo, by the way, I saw. Trevor Hunt has done a pretty sporty job here so far. He's on that outside line. Back here towards the middle of the pack. Matthew Martell there in that 21 car. Hanging out. See Chad Coleman back there, the Iron Man. There's Chad right there, that 38 car. In the WBD diecast. So Wesley, that's one thing I should mention. Wesley Donaldson runs that company there. They make diecast cars and stuff. And Chad Coleman has brought them on as a sponsor this season. So what was the energy drink that was on his car? I think it was NOS. That sponsorship's been retired after like 51 years. I think he told me, what was it, last season? He kept saying that he had run that paint scheme for 3 years straight. There's Bob Gillenwater back on track here this season, of course. Bob, one of the nicest guys, who I feel is very overdue for a win. I see one coming his way in the near future. Could it be today at Daytona? The ultimate equalizer. Yoakum involved in that early wreck, doing a good job. Who is that in that 33 car? Brent Scott in the, well, I guess you call it the NASCAR Thunder Edition of the Skull Bandit car. If you remember those cars back in the day, you couldn't put like alcoholic or tobacco products in that on the car, so they'd put the name of the driver. That's what we got right here. The Scott number 33 car. That's pretty cool. Let's check back here. Last season's champion, Pedro Mujica, back in that blank red car. Again, if you're also a company that would love to put yourself on a car like Pedro Mujica's, I mean, he's won every championship that the Captain Esports Network has broadcasted in 2 years, which is this series for 2 straight years, and in the Cup Series last season on Monday nights. Pretty good average, you ask me, and I totally don't want to forget that Super Speedway Series, the winter of 2023. All right, they're going to be coming up on a lap car here, which could be very interesting. As McMillan leading that top side, Tyler Dalton leading that bottom side. I think the field has kind of calmed down. I say that as Tommy drops it down to the bottom to make a pass for the lead here. Doug Mindorf, appreciate you watching, cheering on Braxton here tonight. Any other new people? Let's see. Josh Gagnon's up here talking Japanese, apparently. Don't know what he said there. Thomas S. watching here tonight on the stream. Appreciate you, sir. I don't know if I gave you a shout out or not, but appreciate all the new viewers. I love giving shout outs to those, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And would love for you to come back each and every week, if not each and every time we broadcast, which when we get to February, it's going to be pretty much 6 nights a week. You're going to hear my voice, and Kevin England will be with me for the Cup Series on Monday nights. But great racing each and every night here on the Captain Esports Network. So starting this week, we'll have every night, but Monday and Friday. And a podcast, oh, by the way, kicking off tomorrow night. So that is going to be fun, the Scalicast. We'll talk about this race and so much more. All right, I'm going to do what is never a good thing to do. I'm going to try to go to commercial in the middle of a pack race like this, but we're going to step away and hear from 811 as you're watching the Captain Esports Network in Sim500.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
Back we are from Daytona. We made it through the commercial. That's good. Tommy Ryan leads 22 laps in. Seems like every super speedway race on the TV, real life, you get that commercial, and all of a sudden you think of the 2002 was it Daytona 500 when Harvick that gets turned, I think, or whatever, as they're going to break, and they have to cut back to the race. It was like one of the first times that NASCAR had ever done that on TV. So Chris DeWeese saying that the BDR fan page members are in the house tonight, so appreciate those guys watching. That's Braxton DeWeese there at 5, running outside in the 8th position right now. As he is doing pretty good there. If we look over at the 22 of Nelson Rivera. Robert Fryery the third there also. Jimmy Coleman back here, Anthony Calantoni. You know, he's doing here so far, looking pretty solid in that. Around 8th position or so. As here comes Mr. Aggressive down there to the bottom, Kevin DeBrown. Looking inside for the lead. If I can find a way to outdo an NFL game in a broadcast, that would be awesome. I highly doubt I'll pull that off, though. I'm going to be just completely honest. But thank you, Josh Gagnon, for asking me what is more interesting between us and a Bills-Dolphin football team. Now, Brian Wortman's not here tonight, so I think I know his answer, but I think Brian's been having some health issues. Hopefully, Mr. Wortman is doing okay there. Good guy that I've had the honor to race with and broadcast for years. The 2x2, everybody fairly calm now after that wreck we had early in the race. It was kind of like almost like a wake-up sign, if you will, for the field after that little wreck took place. Two cars off the track, Wesley Donaldson and Mike Montesi. Jeff Ryan and Ron Holyfield right now. Actually, Holyfield's still on the lead lap. Jeff Ryan was lapping just a few minutes ago. So 25 laps in. Yep, Cup Series going to be back, according to Justin Mons. Looking forward to it. February 5th, they are going to actually do qualifying on its own, which is going to be really cool to see. I'm looking forward to seeing that process work and stuff for the Daytona 500K. Brian Macklin going to go for his 4th consecutive win in that race. As something happened with Terry Lambert. All of a sudden I saw him pop up on pit road and then back on the track. So not sure if he had a save or whatnot there. There's that single file train here back here just kind of riding. See Josh Parker, who tried to make a run to the front just a little bit ago. He's back here. Mike Kelly, Mojica, Jose Gonzalez also in that pack. E.J. O'Rourke, who's usually pretty aggressive. He's a Daytona winner. Matter of fact, won the 2022 Daytona race here. That 41 car, personal comfort on his car. Not really seeing any line getting advantage at all. So we look through the field here. You see, Tommy obviously top side there. You see Tyler and Kevin Brown there on the bottom side. There's the boss man, Joey Jatina, throwing some red into that green and black this season, and from NC811. Give them a follow. Look up Safe Sports 811 on Facebook. And all the great things that organization does. And, of course, with NC811 on board here this season again. And for a second time, going to be on board the Cup side this next coming up here starting next month. So looking forward to that continued partnership. There's just good racing everywhere. How about Andrew Teft? A 98 car. Kind of got that like 8-ball look to it. As he runs into 14th position. And again with the early caution at lap 5, going to see pit stops probably in about 15 laps. Andrew, Aaron Thomas, one day I'll get into a race that's this calm. Well, that's what this series is about. I mean, you get these guys and pretty much all the series that I brought. And I see Comstock there sticking his nose in the outside of that 17 car, Kevin Stone. But yeah, this is one of. It seems like every series I broadcast, which obviously there's Sim500 here on Sunday and Monday nights. Everybody puts on great super speedway racing. You're going to see it here throughout the season. If you come check us out every night, you're going to see great super speedway racing when they're at these kind of tracks. And Sim500, I mean, how many caution-free or 5 or less cautions did we have in a race last year? Plenty. And that's what this series strives on, is having racing that is clean. And obviously as you get to the last 10 laps of the race, the stuff's going to hit the fan. But I mean, some people call this boring. I look at it as you got to make it to the finish. As Scott there is having some blinking issues in O'Rourke. There they go. Right as I say that, the blinking causes Scott to go around. Oh, hold the brakes. There we go. Scott locks it down, and second caution going to come out. As Brent Scott goes for a blinking loop, if you will. I'm not going to blame the racing for that. We'll caution out for the second time. I'm going to try to show this replay, but it's going to be kind of hard to do because of the blinking. But basically, he was having some connection issues, was Brent. Let's get you a better look at it right there. And you see, I mean, you get net codes. I mean, Glenn Campbell, that shows you right there. When you're blinking, you got latency issues and stuff like that. I mean, Campbell went right through his car pretty much and didn't even damage it. So that just shows you what kind of a deal that netcode and when you have latency issues or whatever at that moment was causing him to blink, he's still blinking right there. Brings out the second caution here, and I think you're about to see the leaders come to pit road here. So believe it or not, Aaron, who says that an IR18 race at iRacing Super Speedway apparently, and had a calm race. We have actually broadcasted, and it's in the archives. You can go look up one of the series that did the open wheels, and you will see a Daytona race that went caution free, 100 laps, a league race in an open wheel car. Not made that up. All right, so leaders all going to come to pit road. Behind a 99 of Tommy Ryan. Everybody's got to stay to the right of pit road until they get within 3 of their stall, which is much like real life. You see everybody kind of hanging left so they don't go driving through too many stalls here. All these cars, once they get inside the concrete boxes here, become invisible, basically. Chad Coleman looks like a 2-tire stop for him. And looks like some cars might have stayed out, Teft and Coleman. And that's where you see Tommy Ryan win the race off pit road with McMullen. I'm still working on that one. Trevor Hunt, Josh Connors, Tyler Dalton, Kevin DeBrown. So let's talk to Tommy here real quickly. He was the pole sitter tonight in this Northern Tool, which I actually went into one on Friday for the first time. And I told Tommy I was going to go into one, and I finally did. As Tommy Ryan joins us here. Tommy, was that 5 poles in a row now you've got at Daytona in the Xfinity Series?
Who knows, man? I just go out there and do what I do.
Well, obviously you know what you're doing. You get out there and you do your thing here, and some good racing. You've been able to hold the front there. I want to go back to that wreck, though. Obviously, it was a tough spot, and I know you were almost put in a 4-wide position. Was that one of those deals where do you feel like you could have done something a little different there to keep that from potentially happening, or was that just the way racing was going at that moment?
Yeah, I probably could have. I knew Tyler was on my outside, so I was trying to side draft him a little bit. And Trevor Hunt's a new teammate of mine, and I kind of put him in a bad spot because the guy was right on him, shoving him up through the hole there. So it was just a bad situation. So he had to back out, and I think it probably accordioned back through the field or something. But yeah, just play racing, man.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things too. And I think it was Pedro brought it up when we talked to him before the race. You got a lot of new faces out here running with each other for the first time.
Yeah, and you got that too. So you don't really know what their skill set is and what their how aggressive they're going to be. But we're going to keep this northerntool.com Camaro up here, try to keep it out of trouble, and we'll see where we end up.
Absolutely. How's the weather over there? And probably a little icy.
No, it was just really rainy and cold today in upstate South Carolina. But yeah, I think it actually got up to, I don't know, 60 something maybe.
Some reason I thought you were in Virginia. You're somewhere over there.
No, Randy's in Virginia.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Well, either way, hey man, best of luck here and lead him to the green here as you're coming up on halfway.
Right on, man. Thank you.
You too, buddy. As we get ready for the green flag here, we'll move Tommy back to his chat. Yeah, Unacceptable Racing channel there. I've said multiple times that Tommy Ryan, one of the best super speedway racers out there. I think there's another league that a lot of these guys ran. I was with another broadcasting company doing some stuff for them, and I was covering that series, and he went out and won 2 of these Daytona races in a row in the Cup car. So the man knows what he's doing on a super speedway. And he's looking to kick off this season off the right way. So, who here is a new follower of the Captain Esports Network? If you are, I invite you to grab your remote control and turn the volume up. For the first time in 2024, let's turn it up as we go back to green. As you see the lap car, the Scott, the 33, come off pit road there. Big shout out to Sammy Barnes. Sam Barnes, a good friend of mine, has done a lot of work to help me out with some of the graphics you're seeing here. When it comes to the turn it up. So, and around, up front they're wrecking. Tommy Ryan gets into someone there. And cars scattering. And the third caution comes down. I'm not sure. Is that Schweikert up there? Tommy's gone around over here on the front straightaway, so let the broadcaster jinx chat start. That's Josh Connors, by the way, up against the outside wall. And third caution all of a sudden. All right, let's roll that beautiful bean footage and see what happened here. I don't know if it's so beautiful for a lot of cars, but... what do we get here? Oh, yeah. Oh, looks like Josh went to get up there behind the 88, and Tommy was kind of there too. And they just tangle. David Comstock's going to get a piece along with Robert Friery. There goes the one towards the infield, unfortunately. I mean, it's not the exact definition of this, the old famous Diamond Rio song, but I start walking your way, you start walking mine. You're going to meet in the middle eventually. And caution comes back out. And right near the halfway point here. So this is going to open up that possibility. Yes, I just had a Diamond Rio reference on a broadcast. That just happened. Never before. see them getting together right there. Maybe some cosmetic damage on some other cars, but otherwise... You see Comstock with the missing rear end, and my camera don't know what it wants to do. That's funny. Tommy Ryan, and trying to see who the other car is right there. And Comstock driving it like it's a cup car, like he's Kyle Busch at Texas last season. All right, so leaders did come to pit road there. Looks like fuel only for everybody. And let's actually hear with the great power of technology, I am going to go back and show you all of the pit stops. Just give me 1 second here. Because unfortunately, when everybody comes to pit road, my highlight thing goes absolutely bonkers. Now you see everybody just taking fuel only, and McMillan's going to win the race off pit road. Rivera, their second. Joe Hudson ends up second by default because he goes on past the 22 there. I'm sure he'll either fall back or whatever there. And then it was STP colors. We might have to come up with a segment this season called the Joe Hudson Paint Schemes segment or something. The man has a paint almost every race of a different kind. He'll throw me off sometimes. I'm like, who's that in that car? And then I realize it's Joe Hudson. Unfortunately, Tommy Ryan has taken his car to the pits. Comstock is on pit road, so everybody's getting their car fixed. And Tommy's going to go lap down, so uh-oh. Let the broadcaster jinx begin. As we're going to get one to green this time by. Let's see who is all hanging out here, and I don't know who that is. Here's the thing, they got some names in their Discord page that like just have their first letters. I don't know who's who in some of these names, but I like to kind of go through Discord and see who's hanging out in what chats, and we'll talk some more drivers if we get another yellow coming up here in a few minutes. 24 viewers. Appreciate you guys, every single one of you watching tonight. And I'm sure there's more than 24 people watching, so thank you again for being a part of the Captain Esports Network in their the second broadcast now of 2024, but the first here for Sim500 and the NC811 Xfinity Series. And hopefully we can carry that momentum into each week. Of course, next Sunday we'll be at Homestead Miami Speedway as we stay in the state of Florida. And then, of course, after that we go to what is now no longer Auto Club Speedway. RIP. I hate saying that, but it's the truth. For round 3 and in Vegas, get 4 or 5 races before we get to the big game break, which last season was the second race. Thumbs up button, the notifications, all that stuff. And yes, you might notice if you're watching for like the umpteenth time, there's commercials now. And that's because, by the way, I am now a partner of YouTube's as of a couple weeks ago, so I definitely appreciate everybody coming back and appreciate everybody watching. As Mac McMillan, the 88 amp car, leads him to the green. Joe Hudson almost got himself too good of a start in that 43 car. Of course, all the restarts are on the Geico restart zone, so if they mess up the restart, that's on them. Lane changes in this league, they're obviously iRacing rules. They do try to do a gentleman's agreement, if you will, where they won't do like any kind of boneheaded type things on restarts, but you never know. I wish, Casey, but you can't. It's Casey asking for the ad-free tier, Captain Plus. I am going to do that series as well. That's where Casey Carrington and I joke around with each other and stuff, and with Joe Hudson to the front in that 43 car. Shades of, well, the 7 different times that Richard Petty went to victory lane in this race. Of course, you had the 2014 spring, or the July race where Eric Almirola took the 43 to victory lane. I think it was 2014, was it not, with the rain? But this track brings out the upsets in this series. And I look up here. You see the 5 in its debut race. DeWeese up here towards the front. Trevor Hunt. Kevin Stone's up here. Here comes Speedy Gonzalez at 26. So a lot of cars starting to migrate to the front as we pass halfway. Oh, who's that making it 3 wide back there? There's a couple cars, when I see 3 wide out of them, I'm like, yep, that sounds about right. You got to watch the 93 Kevin DeBrown. Got to watch the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke, and you got to watch the 31 of Eric Arnold. They're usually pretty aggressive, and I see the 41 pushing somebody back here, and that is the 1 of Schweikart. Ron Holyfield tonight, by the way, running that 21 car. I should mention that 21. That is the number of that is ran in tribute. And tonight, that Holyfield getting that 21 car. So you're used to seeing maybe him in the 11 or whatnot. He is in the 21 as they are looking 3 wide. And that is in tribute, by the way, to Ed Burrell, who was a driver up until last season, unfortunately passed away. So a lot of drivers honor him. I know Brian Macklin a couple times last season, or not Macklin, I'm sorry. Of course, I forget the driver who did that last season, ran the 21 car a lot. Justin Fuller is who I'm thinking of. Oh, one car scrambling out of line there. I think that's Gerald Livingston saying, I got better things to do than this. Cars all around you. Literally. There's Eric Arnold. There's Joey Jatina. Hello. Bring your bumper out of the wall. They go. Oh, don't break my camera. And they're trying to wreck. And they are wrecking. Jose Gonzalez into the wall. Bob Gillenwater. Chad Coleman with damage. My camera was not the only thing spinning. Now we got the broadcaster and cameraman curse. And we got a dog tracker. Mojica looks like had to go off track to miss that as well. As caution comes back out here. Woof. Hey, that'd be a good qualifying car at Daytona a few years ago. Put that left, get the left front in the air, get the spoiler out. Jeff Ryan getting some damage. Andrew Teft, who somebody in chat called him asleep earlier. Oh, and Coleman comes out to side swipe. Jatina. Or not Jatina, but Gillenwater. Back it up a little bit more here. And it's going to start with contact about mid-pack up there. Oh, and Gonzalez tries to fill a gap, and Jatina hooks him. And down into the bam, there's that shot, and there's Gillenwater. But Andrew Teft just nowhere to go. And WDB, or BD, sorry, Diecast, going to be releasing 124 scale wrecked race cars coming up here tonight for half off. And I'm just kidding. Unfortunate deal there. get you a better look. Let's look from, let me hit stop real quick. It's always as hard when I'm a one-man show trying to do the replays and stuff. Let's get you a shot from Andrew Teft here. Oh, when I say half off, by the way, I meant the whole front end's missing, not half off the price. Right in your living room's at Speedy Gonzalez car. Mike Kelly going to the grass to avoid that. Let's get you another view here. How about... Well, let's see. And there's a spot there. Jose could have come up. Joey just gets the push right there. And then, I don't know, that's just tough. And knowing Joey, he probably feels bad that, yes, he just kind of took out one of a car in a race, but it's the way things go. There's pit stops. See Steven Miles, rookie in his series here. Coming off pit road, so is, looks like Mojica. Did he get some damage in that? Because Mojica's sitting there. Whoa. Was Josh Connors, who was in that last wreck, involved. So let's step away real quickly and get another break in as you're watching the Captain Esports Network, the Sim500 Xfinity Series under caution here at Daytona.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are under caution here at Daytona in the nc811.org Xfinity season opener here at Daytona. And Jose's car is still crabbing off pit road. That is not good. I can't remember what year it was. It was like 2018 or so, 2019 was it? Where they actually had NASCAR to like stop the crab walking in the cars. Like, y'all stop that because it was making the cars look completely absurd out here on the track. So, I mean, when you're on a super speedway, if you have your car sitting to the left like that, it takes the spoiler out of the air and puts all the downforce on that left rear. And that car would get all types of speed out there. Of course, you want to do it on the right side on a regular track, but super speedways, you wanted to have it on the left side. That is true. Yeah, the ARCA Gen 4 cars do still do the crab walk. All right, been a wild one here so far. And yeah, we still got 31 laps to go in this race. See if we have any other cars out of the race here, and I can get somebody else up here to chat with us potentially here as we go back to the green. Yeah, that's Sam. That's exactly who I was thinking of. Thomas S brings up Sam Hornish, that 77 car. That's the default video at Charlotte I can think of where his car, I mean, you could almost see the whole side of his car down the back straightaway, and it was like, all right, that's not right. All right, so Robert Fryer is involved in a wreck here a little bit ago. I'm gonna see if I can get him to talk to us. Robert, you got a copy, bud? Might be here, he might not be. I see Joe Hudson down on the apron for some reason. We thought we were about to go green here, but we are not yet. Robert, you got a copy?
Roger that.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, I got you, man. Hey, sorry to see what happened to you tonight. Know some tough racing out there. You were involved in the previous caution, I believe it was, there on the front straightaway. Talk a little bit about your race here tonight and the unfortunate circumstances there.
The race has been great. LaRue guys have done a great job. Nelson and I were working together up front. The other two were working on a scheme in the back. The cars are a little tricky. It seems like the high side, the rear end doesn't have as much stability as it does if it's running on a low line. And I was trying to stay on a low line much of that early run, just waiting for the fuel pit stop to happen. But I wound up getting on a draft on the outside, and I don't know, some guys got together, and I was kind of an innocent bystander of that.
Is there any kind of, I don't want to use the word sign, but it's the best word that comes to my head right now. Any kind of reasoning or whatever it's causing that potentially? Is it the track temp maybe, or whatever it's causing that high side to be a little more free?
I don't really know. I would expect it to be more on the bottom, actually,
Right.
with the cars on the outside pulling the air off the rear fender. But it just seems to me that my comfort level was on the lower line. But on the higher line, it just seemed like the rear was wanting to swap ends with the front. So that's why I stayed on the bottom for the most part, except for when that caution happened.
Now, we've not had a chance to talk much, and I've kind of wanted to ask this question. You always run those Rusty Wallace-like paint schemes. I noticed you got one from the early 90s, late 80s on there. I saw it tonight. Talk about, I know you have a different sponsor name, but the Rusty Wallace team, I assume, favorite driver?
Yes, sir.
That's an awesome deal. Well, Robert, we appreciate your time, man. Sorry to see what happened, and obviously go cheer on those LaRue guys. We'll see you next week, bud.
Yeah, man. Thanks for asking.
You too. Robert Friery the third. I always get scared I say his name wrong. I knew he was a Rusty Wallace fan. You couldn't miss it out there, but he is still on track, believe it or not. He's back there. I didn't think he was on track still, but he is on track still in that 77 car. So we get ready to come back to the green here. And yes, I am going to need a condo. I've already run like 4, what if I run 4, 5 road races already at Daytona this week? Green flag back out. As Joe Hudson, Nelson Rivera, Mac McMillan, Braxton Deweese, Trevor Hunt, your top 5. I did know that. Casey Carrington is a Casey Kane fan. And that's Casey Carrington being a smart aleck towards me in chat. That's what that is, ladies and gentlemen. Casey being Casey. That's why him and I get along so well. Me and Sarcasm get along great. Most of the time. I mean, you'll find out in a couple weeks when he's in probably a red and white number 9 Dodge again. As McMillan and Hudson side by side. About that time, I'm guessing, if you've been riding in the back and your car's got the damage or no damage on it, get to the front. Time to go. Josh Gagnon, a fan of Brad Keselowski. I'm going to go ahead and beat everybody in the treehouse to this joke. So you guys have similar ankle problems. Been very impressed with that 88 up there on the top side. And who is that? Up Eric Arnold. I mentioned, here comes O'Rourke to the top. Remember the 3 names I said earlier for aggressiveness? The 41 and the 31 to the top. And they went absolutely nowhere so far. Deweese going to give him the room up there at the top. Let's see what McMillan does. Trevor Hunt doing a great job trying to push that 88. And here they go 3 wide. O'Rourke to the top. Hudson at the bottom. And that bottom gets very tight on older tires. Something we'll have to watch for later in this race. Who's going to lead this lap? Looks like Hudson. Careful. Ooh. The 22 heading for the grass and saves it. There goes Yoakum down into the 44 Campbell. No caution. He's going to stay down off the track. And a couple more cars back there scrambling. I think it's Rivera. The 80 Yoakum cars scattered everywhere. Everybody kept it fairly straight, so no caution. And we stay green. O'Rourke to the front for now. Tyler Dalton climbing up there top side. Let's see. We'll let this go here for a second. And then maybe get you a replay of that whole situation there. As this pack is now spread out. As O'Rourke takes the lead officially. And about wrecked himself doing it. I'm so hesitant to go show this replay because I'm just watching as the fireworks are starting to kick off here. And I don't mean outside, I mean in this race. Or as I like to joke around and say, a tornado warning for Volusia County. But I don't want to make those kind of jokes right now because of the Fort Lauderdale tornado I saw yesterday, which I actually looked on a map. That literally hit like a half a mile north of where I went to college at down there. So 55 laps complete, 25 to go. And Randy Oakham's come to pit road. I was hoping that would be the situation. Actually, it isn't. Rest in peace to a great sprint car driver there. Actually, it wasn't. Aaron Thomas says, hope it wasn't a broadcasting school. It actually wasn't. So I can't. Yeah, I'm about to go looking for that wreck somewhere if we get a caution. It was not a broadcasting school. Believe it or not, it was more of a fashion design slash culinary school. And I fell for the old joke when I was in high school, which, I wasn't the most intelligent person back then. They come by and they're like, 100% of our students graduate in that field. Oh, okay, good. The day I go to walk across the stage as a broadcasting graduate, I'm one of two people. That would make sense in that 100% part. And no, I was not the valedictorian of that. That should tell you a lot right there. But the funny part is there was one day I was going to a class. I think it was like a video design class or something. And around the corner comes Serena Williams, who, by the way, I am 6 foot and all of 240 pounds. And which at that time I was a little bit smaller. I was as tall as I was, but skinnier. And she looked like a monster. And I mean that respectfully, like muscular. And she went to school there for fashion design, along with her sister. But enough of the side story. Back to the racing here, because they are starting to get dancy and starting to get loose here. So we've got a separate pack now. We've got these guys here, front 18 cars in a lead pack. There's Comstock, and then you got a pack of about 5 back here with the 60 car of Carve Lodge. I believe that's how that's pronounced, and I'm sorry, Jason, if I'm getting that wrong. Mike Kelly's in there with Josh Parker, Stephen Miles, and Pedro Mojica. And then you've got another pack back here with Doug Sigmund and guys trying to get caught up. These guys were all separated out by that little argy-bargy you saw going into turn 1 with Nelson Rivera. And look at this. So you want to race super speedways, huh? Chad Coleman yielding out of the way there. As you see Kevin DeBrown. Got Tyler Dalton who was outside. Eric Arnold's at his rear. Who's that over here? That'd be Schweikert, by the way. And now you got this other pack coming in, the 21 car. The other 21 car. It's actually the 78 with a 21 on it. Martell. As they come up on lap traffic, this is going to get interesting. Coming up on Jeff Ryan and I think it's Glenn Campbell. They're going to stay low here. Hopefully they can hold. They're good at holding the lane, but just hopefully they can agree to stay in the same lane there. They do. And waiting for the one driver to pull the old ARCA mistake, as we see most of the time in the ARCA race, where they'll cut down thinking they're clear. Oh, there it is. Tyler Dalton into the 21 of Martell. Anthony Calatoni going around, cautioned out. And Tyler Dalton, unfortunately, has got a pancaked right side. That right front's damaged. You can see how slow it's rolling. I started to make that joke of the ARCA wreck, because usually you have the ARCA cars that cut down on the field when they're trying to clear the lap traffic, but instead it happened the other way around. Instead, it was a topside car that got turned sideways. I think Stephen Miles got some damage in this wreck too. Let's see if we can roll back here and see what happens. There you see the 21 and the 19 right there. Jimmy Coleman getting some damage also. Actually, I think Miles might not have gotten involved. I see Calantoni. Oh, no, right there, Miles gets the damage. Oh, he's not going to be happy about that. Martell just hangs a left. Let me hit stop here for a second. I just want to see how this transpires here, because I looked over as the 5 tried to change lanes here. Yeah, it looks like the 5. You know what? I wonder if the 5 didn't hear car high, or if he thought he was clear. They didn't make contact, but he moves up, and the 21 adjust. Oh, that wreck looks awfully familiar, and I hate to say that. Obviously different looking the way it transpires, but obviously see Calantoni, Jeff Ryan get turned. And Miles and others and getting damaged in that, so if there was a such thing as a headache award, of course, remember back in the day, NASCAR had the old Goodies Headache Award. Usually they would award that on, think, like MRN or something. For those who are showing their age like I am, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about there. Let's go on board with Stephen Miles here, the Ric Flair drip. And I know Miles so well that the words out of his mouth probably here are going to be, wow. He's okay here. Goes to the bottom. Everything's good. Everything's good. And all of a sudden, hey, hang a left here. Might not have hurt the engine so much. But we'll have to see. Casey Carrington with the other. Yeah, that's crazy. Yep, that's a good one. I'm trying to see who this... Oh, it's Gillenwater. Okay. There's a name in Discord. I'm trying to see who it was. It had a B next to it, and I was thinking it might be Braxton. I was going to talk to him. But it ended up being Bob Gillenwater. I'm still learning names in Discord here, so appreciate everybody watching. And I did, if I haven't had a chance to mention, for those who filled out the survey last season that I put out there, as we continue to try to help improve the Captain Esports Network to make it an even better broadcast. And, that includes getting myself to be better. Appreciate all the feedback you guys have shared, and hopefully I can continue to work on it throughout the season to make this stream one of the best streams, if not the best stream to watch on iRacing. And it's going to be tough because there's a lot of great ones out there. But obviously being a one-man show, going to do everything I can to give you guys the best show each and every week. And the best thing you guys can do is support me and show up, and we can chat like all these guys are. So if you're enjoying the race tonight, as you see, I don't mind talking to you guys and making you guys feel welcome and feel like a home here. As we get ready to go green, and I think, where's the quote from Chris DeWeese? Yep, this is going to get very good. That is a bold statement, Cotton, as Kevin will say to me on Monday nights. 24 viewers tonight. That's awesome. Good to see. All right, so we did have a lot of the field come to pit road here, and I'm not sure if that was for tires or not. But looks like from 10th on up, stayed out here, which fuel mileage is not a question here unless you get an overtime finish. But we shall see. Barney, wave that green. I literally just had a quick little like daydream moment where I was getting ready to watch these cars go into the turn 1 of the road course. I've been running that track so much the last 2 weeks, or a week and a half. So Trevor Hunt leads this race. Braxton DeReese is in second. Yes, that would be new names up there at the front. John Schweikert, I believe he's a veteran actually in this series, or in the league, just not the series, is in that LaRue number 1 car. Mike Kelly all of a sudden has made an appearance in the top 5. Remember, David Comstock had his rear end ripped off early in this race. He is up here in the top 5 now. All right, seatbelts on, popcorn in hand. Here we go. Josh Parker's joined this battle. Let's see who else. There's McMillan back there. Oh, SpongeBob SquareShike. Charles Van Shyke there in the 23 car. He's in here now. Ron Holyfield in that 21. There goes Kelly to the front with help from O'Rourke. Well, you can see these cars are moving. And I mean that as in like arrow. Kelly, who won last year's race, looking to go back-to-back, and there's the 2022 winner, O'Rourke, up there, top side, taking the lead back. He's got Kevin DeBrown. Hey, there's all 3 of those cars I mentioned earlier. O'Rourke, DeBrown, and Eric Arnold. Kevin DeBrown looking to keep that streak going. The only driver with top 10s in all 3 Daytona Talladega races last season. I'll have to go look at the Atlanta ones and see how he did there. Oh, DeWeese getting loose on the bottom. And he saved it, I think. Oh, no, caution's out somewhere. Oh, Robert Fryery's gone around, it looks like. There he is. I was going to say, DeWeese with a little bit of a Kyle Busch moment there. There's that old Miller Genuine Draft throwback. That might have been back when he raced the 27 car. I forget who the owner was at that time. Raymond? Oh, the 01 just gets in the back of him. I don't know if he checked up. And you know we got to go show this, by the way. So Braxton Forts is going to fall all the way back here. Looks like they got him 16th right now. Let's watch the hands. Again, why every person, every driver should have white gloves. I mean, he was just trying to get it off the track. Did he not have a Miller Genuine Draft 27 car at 1.2 for a short time? I know he was mostly in that Kodiak car. Because I know Penske eventually took it over and got him in... Oh! Look at the pace car! I'll show you crabbing. Look at that thing. I think I have to check if Sim500 Hall of Famer Daniel Falkingham might be driving the pace car tonight. Who knows? All right. Let me get some water real quickly. Let's just take a deep breath here. Yep, Raymond Beadle's the owner of that car. Good call on that. Step away for a quick second. We'll come back and get you the finish of this race as you're watching the NC811 Xfinity Series Sim500 on the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on nc811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back we are at Daytona. I almost said Talladega. Daytona International Speedway Race 1 of the NC811.org Grand... here we go. That's $1 in a jar. Last season it was a Grand National Series. Xfinity Series here for Sim500. About to see 11 laps to go. And arguably the three most aggressive drivers in the series running 1, 2, 3. Kevin DeBrown, E.J. O'Rourke, and Eric Arnold. As Kevin DeBrown's going to hate me now as I bring him up here to join me. Kevin.
Oh, no.
Hi,
Oh, no. What do you want?
Hey, I was going to give you some good juju here, my friend. Did you know? Did you know that you're the only driver to finish in the top 10 at Daytona and Talladega all last season?
Oh, really? I did not know that.
You did, see? Just do some good juju at you.
I appreciate that.
So, obviously, back in the car again here for 2024. Obviously, you got some great things going on in your life, but right now you're leading this race with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get loose. I don't know if you noticed on the broadcast, but it's getting real loose on long runs, and it's been a lot of fun.
And obviously, with you being on the bottom, that cannot be an easy thing to control.
No. All I know is that I got to beat EJ. That's all that matters.
Is there a personal bet on the line?
Of course.
Why wouldn't there be? So, all right then. Well, best of luck, and tell the cat I said hello, by the way.
Appreciate it.
And best of luck to you, and man, good luck obviously this season with what you got going on.
Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Kevin DeBrown, team name, and he's gonna go down and probably cuss me out in team name now. So I don't blame him. So as we come to 10 laps to go this time by, in what has been a wild Daytona race as expected, I'm going to have fun putting a highlight reel together for this. I don't mean that sarcastically. I mean, it's actually going to be fun to do, I think. There have been some fantastic saves, some fantastic racing. And in the end, only one driver is going to be able to go to victory lane here tonight. Question is, who is it going to be? Pace car pulls off as Kevin DeBrown leads them to the green flag. E.J. O'Rourke, did he spin the tires? That was weird. Oh, one car heading for the infield. The 01 goes spinning. That's actually Terry Lambert in the 48/01. As we're going to stay green, he's blinking pretty badly. You see the pack starting to form up. He said the bottom side starting to get a little edgy as McMillan going to take Joey Jattina 3 wide. Kevin Stone down there on the bottom. Jattina keeping that car there. You see Parker down there on the bottom. David Comstock now trying to get to the middles himself here. Everybody trying to find their spot. And remember, 2 overtime finishes in Sim 500. If you've never seen an overtime race on iRacing, basically they get to the white flag. Per usual, it's over. They get to 2 laps to go, and a yellow comes out, they re-rack it. Now the difference here is iRacing does not throw cautions after 1 to go. At 1 to go, it is a free-for-all. Get what you get to the finish. Eight laps to go. You got your friends. And the question is, when do you go for your own here? Will we see the Sim 500 Mafia get together? Will we see Team Name get together? I'm seeing a little bit of the Team Name part already. You know, when does it become a part where you just don't have any teammates and you're on your own here? Jattina gonna jump top side. Ooh, Kevin trying to get to the right rear of the 41. Oh, a little beating banging back there. Everybody okay? There's Mojica. He's starting to come in here now. Trying to get into this battle. You see Calantoni, there's so many cars that have been involved in wrecks that are in here. Oh, there they go. The 59 gets turned. And this is the big one. Mojica gets involved. The 5 gets turned. I saw the 59 go around. I think the 60 of cartilage with some damage maybe. Okay, that looked big. I don't see many damaged cars again. Let's get ourselves a replay here and see what takes place. We'll slow it down here in a second. We'll get to the other side of the front straightaway here. So the contact's going to come from the 59 in the 5. '59 clips the apron there into trial, kind of kicks him up the track a little bit. I don't see really anything yet. Let me get a better view of this, because before I say what I'm going to say, I want to make sure we clear out one other element real quick. Bar chase. I was wanting to see if there was any kind of net code there, and I can't tell. Because that 59 did all of a sudden make a slight move to the right. Oh, look at Simley get through there. Miles like, I'm going to follow that 12 car. That's... I don't think there's netcode, but it's so hard to tell. Let me go... I'm going to watch the hands here. It's the apron. You know what? Yeah, I think he come up a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because of you. I'm going to back it up here a little bit. Watch his hands for a split second is going to straighten out. Right there, kind of straightens out as he saves the car off the apron. He's turning right here. See how it straightens out and then he goes back to turning. And I'm pretty sure that little green creature, which I don't know if that's supposed to be some resemblance of Mike Wazowski, was not doing that face probably right there. So super speedway racing at its finest. Bringing out the caution, 4 laps to go. What do we think, guys? Who's got it? Is it going to be somebody up here? Are we going to have a wreck like we did? Was it the summer of, or I'm sorry, the winter of 2023 Atlanta Motor Speedway? Brian Wortman, 8th, coming off of turn 4, crosses the line first. Never know. A la James Buescher in the Xfinity race back in 2011. I mean, as I mentioned, you got some of the more aggressive super speedway racers right up here at the front. And when I say aggressive, I don't mean dirty or anything like that. I mean, they will do what it takes to keep themselves in the front here. And you've got some drivers looking to get wins that would break some streaks. Joey Jattina. How about Mac McMillan up here? I believe this is, not sure if he's made starts in this series or not, but Mac obviously looking to get a win. Haven't seen him at least 2 Xfinity seasons that we've been here. David Comstock, he'd love to go to victory lane here. How about that 31 of Eric Arnold? The 23 of Charles Van Schaik. Of course, he was a part of the merge with GOAT. Anthony Calantoni back there in the 9th position. Of course, he went to victory lane in the summer race here before we got to the playoffs. Let me correct myself, because the Daytona was the second to last race last season. It was part of the playoffs. I'm so used to it being that August, like, non-playoff race, but I had to go peek real quick. So corrected. All I know is we've had 25 viewers tonight watching this race. I hope each and every one of you come back each and every night to enjoy the stream that you've watched. As we come to the green flag here, 2 laps to go. This is not an official green-white checker, as we actually have 2 laps to go in the race. Into the restart zone, Kevin DeBrown leads them. Who's got the push? O'Rourke pushing the 93 out there. Comstock all over the 41. Got to be careful not to push the pusher. O'Rourke making the move topside with Kelly. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. They get back to the white flag. All gloves are off. White flag is in the air. They haven't wrecked yet. We are going to finish right here. Kevin DeBrown to the top, to the bottom in the lead with Comstock. Jatina, contact with Calantoni. He gets back on track. There's Miles. Mike Kelly down to the front. Contact and a wrecking. A huge wreck as Mike Kelly is all alone. Back-to-back Daytona wins for Mike Kelly. Mayhem at the end. There's still cars stopped over here. Kevin DeBrown. We'll get to the replay. We got plenty of those coming. He's burning the car down so much it actually took the paint off. Hey, when it does that. Unfortunately, there we go. Now, how about that two-car back-to-back wins in this race? I mean, literally, the whole field was in that last wreck. So Kelly finishing up the burnout says, we'll talk to him in a minute. I think we obviously have to go do the... we have to go see what in the world broke out here at the end of this race, because I literally, and I'm just going to just be transparent here. I literally turned my head to go to the other timing and scoring, because I do the producing too and everything. So I literally turned my head to switch to the other timing and scoring for the finish, because I wanted it to be like as accurate as possible. And I look up and I am seeing parts in pieces in cars flying. And I'm like, whoa. Now, give me a second here. Let me pull up the replay here and we'll show you what happened. That was absolutely bonkers, to say the least. It actually starts on the back straightaway. All right, so Calantoni gets knocked out of line, gets back in line. Nice job by everybody to keep him there. And Eric Arnold's going to get the wall, pull his car off the wall, and that's where, and then Comstock turns Kevin almost. Everybody starts wrecking. And here comes the field with Arca, the best in brakes. Chad Coleman got through that. We're going to have to go on board with him. Mojica gets clipped. But there's a junkyard in turn 4. And here comes Gonzalez. He's still crab walking, by the way, over here. All right, well, how do you sneak out a top 10 in a race at a super speedway? This is how you do it. Oh, they're wrecking before they even got to the pack. Harry, I made it through. And a top 10 for Chad Coleman. Man, these cars just come piling in. Who's that? Whoa! Who's that down there? I mean, there's no braking at this moment. Like I said, you get to the last lap, it becomes a free-for-all. Not bad for Nelson Rivera, the 22. Let me see if I can get him real quick. Nelson finishes 13th in the end. Nelson, there's nothing worse than a feeling of seeing a big wreck happen and you don't even get to the big wreck before your turn. Slows up for the wreck, slows up for the wreck, slows up for the wreck. Oh no, so now he's, well, part of the wreck. Now, he might have been numerous laps down here. But I'm pretty sure Tyler Dalton was the car that I referenced just now. Like, who was that down there? Watch this. There's the wreck. No, it was not Tyler. It's that car. I thought it was Tyler. Who is that over there? You know what? I thought it was Tyler. It was not Tyler. I'm going to go with this car. Let's go Schweikert. So for those who have not figured out yet, watching the stream, I'm a one-person show. It's literally just me. So I don't have like a producer in my ear telling me, hey, this is what's happening or who it is or whatever. I'm just using my eyes to see what I see. There you go, center grass. Yeah, I got it right. Look at this. It's like, bye, guys. Look out. Clips the wall. He pulls out an 11th place finish with that move. All right, well, that was crazy. I was going to do what I did Wednesday night and talk to the driver like as soon as he crossed the start-finish line, but I didn't get a chance to do that tonight. Let's talk to our third place finisher here, Joe Hudson, who gets himself a top 3 finish in that mayhem. Richard Petty would be proud of you there in that 43 car here tonight, but man, great job. And a top 3 finish for you after that mayhem.
What the hell happened there? Can you help me?
They wrecked up front. That's the best I can tell you. I mean, if you want an actual description, it looked like it looked like was it Kevin and a couple others here. Let's just I don't know if you're watching the stream or not. I'll just show you the replay and let you see it. But no, it looked like Kevin and a couple others got tangled up front, and then just everybody just went into it and said, "Hey, hope for the best."
Yeah, it seemed like all night the best place to be was on the bottom to avoid wrecks, and it's just they got together in 3 and 4 on the last lap, and just when there's no caution, you just got to get back to the green, and I just kept my foot in it and kind of got into Comstock there. He would have probably finished third, but that's the way it goes. It was a good race though. It ran up front for a good part of that, and so we had a good enough car to be up there, but it's just a crapshoot.
It is, and I talked to a couple drivers tonight, and they said that they felt that the bottom lane was almost the way to go, not only to avoid wrecks, but it seemed like handling-wise tonight. Were you feeling the same thing?
It really felt like the bottom would stall out, and the outside lines could get moves, and you would get shuffled back. But I mean, you knew there were going to be a wreck, and you just felt like, I personally felt like you had more options to avoid the wreck being down low.
And that's more because probably more room to the bottom, right? You can move down into the grass or whatever to miss it, correct?
Yeah, and I still didn't miss that many of them.
Well, hey, you did whatever it took. They say in racing, it's the first person to get to the line. You got there third. So you did your part in finishing top 3 in this race. That's got to be exciting for you.
Yeah, a nice way to start the year with a good points position, and led a few laps and worked some strategy there with fuel. I was a little short, but I was counting on some cautions, and sure enough, we got them. And congratulations to Mike and Anthony on first and second, and the whole Sim500. We're ready to get back at it. Thank you for broadcast, and we'll try again next week.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, great job tonight, finishing third in that 43 car, making Petty look pretty good there. And obviously, great job.
Yeah, and whoever's got the hood, I think it flew up in the stands. Just tell them to keep it as a souvenir.
Well, let's hope we don't have another 97 situation again where a hood flew into the crowd and unfortunately hurt some people and killed some people. But yeah, we'll otherwise I'll go find out who it is for you.
Thank you, Chris. Have a great night. Good job.
Thanks, man. Joe Hudson, the third place finisher. That was back when the backstretch had grandstands. And let's bring up our second place finisher tonight. I don't know how to word this for him. Anthony Calantoni finishes second. Anthony,
me neither.
How many wrecks you were involved in tonight? But somehow you find a way to put this Talking Giants number 84 up in the P2.
Yes.
That sounds right.
Yeah, right? I don't. I nearly crapped myself in probably about 2 of the wrecks. I was in the middle of the one. All I saw was smoke, one of them last big wrecks. And then this one, by the mercy of God, I guess, just helped me there.
I don't know. There must be something going on there in the water of the Calantoni. I mean, that's let's see. You're riding 4K. You get knocked out of line to start with. And somebody, I think it was Miles, was nice enough to let you back in. And then,
he gave me a little boot there down the back, and he didn't have a choice to let me back in.
Let's see, you move Joey out of the way. You just kind of drift the apron here and just ride the bottom. Oh, and then you get turned a little bit. Oh, that had to be crazy for you.
When David, when we were all clipped together there, I thought it was over. I thought it was done. I thought it was nosing into the wall, so I don't even know how it straightened back out.
We'll talk about the racing, man. Obviously, we had some cautions tonight. There were some 2. There were 3 wide racing. And, yeah, we had our share of wrecks, but it was wild.
Yeah, no, it was definitely it was an interesting race. It was a little hectic earlier on, more than what I thought it would have been. I thought we would have actually, just rode around for the first half or something. But the early wrecks were kind of surprising. I think one was actually caused by a lag or a warp. But yeah, no, the racing was good. It was clean. There was, some single car wrecks, and the end is what you expect when you come to one of these super speedways.
And of course, you continue to finish well in a super speedway race. I wish I had your luck. Well, I do sometimes. But anyways, congratulations, and man, send some shout-outs.
All right, I gotta look at the car because I
It's
got
okay.
I don't
Need
even
help?
know. No. Well, we're gonna start with the Talking Giants and John Boy Media crew. We're gonna thank John Mustin for painting this hot rod of a car. This thing is looking sharp this year, and WBD Diecast for coming on board this year, and NC 811 Call Before You Dig for the, sponsoring the series, and Chris, you for broadcasting it.
I appreciate it, man. I kind of get, like, when I looked at the car just there again, I kind of get that Phil Simms, like, early 90s feel to it.
You know, you're kind of right.
Just like, I'm thinking of the 90s Super Bowl, and of course the Rodney Hampton and Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks and all those guys on that squad back then.
Yeah, I do want to work on a throwback car for Darlington, so I want to try and work on that.
If you could put some goalposts up and a ball going wide right, you might be able to do it. Just saying. Anyways, congratulations, man.
Thank you, Chris. Hopefully we do again next week.
That sounds good. Sounds good, buddy. Anthony Calantoni, the second place finisher tonight here in Daytona, man. Congrats to him. And he said his words to us were, "I hope I get to talk to you again tonight." And by God, does he. Mike Kelly. Mikey! Back to victory
Whoa,
lane
good
again.
job with the foreshadowing, dude.
Hey, look, I know nothing, okay? Please, no viewers turn to me for lotto numbers. I can't give them to you.
Well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
So true on that one, man. Great job tonight, man. That's got to feel pretty good.
Oh man, after Wednesday night, it's like, I'll tell you, this racing, it's something. It's a roller coaster, and that's why we all love it, and that's why we do it. But what a race, Chris. Man alive. Did I make some good moves there, I guess, finally, for a change or something? I don't know. Luck, good moves? I don't know, but I was in the right place at the right time.
At that point in the race, yes. Obviously, there were some other parts of the race where it did not look so good for you.
Oh, I had some bad moments there. I don't know if you were in my car or not, but a couple of those. It was a 3 underwear night. We'll just leave it at that.
That's a new record. It's got to feel kind of surreal to know that you went to victory lane in this race last season, and now you come back this season to do it again.
I can't believe it, really. I mean, these races are hard to win any track, any time. To take 2 Daytona openers in this class with the caliber of racing, everything it takes just to get to the end. And I don't know how I did it last year for sure. I can't remember, but wow, that's something. These kind of wins are the ones that you want to get, that, it's like you didn't luck into it. And, Daytona tends to be a lot of luck, but I feel I ran a perfect race there. Missed the wrecks when I needed to, was in the right position, made the right moves. Eric Arnold, God bless Eric, man. He always runs good up there, and when I saw him make that move at the end and I had a chance to get up there in front of him, I knew I had a shot, and all hell broke loose there right after I made that move to the bottom and had a clear path to the victory.
I don't know how else. Well, I'm gonna wait before I drop the stat on you. Get some shout outs.
Well, thanks to you guys for coming back on this year and broadcasting on Sundays and Mondays again, because it's a premier broadcast crew for all of the excellent Sim500 broadcasts we have here at Sim500. And shout out to Trans Service for coming back and sponsoring this. I think Joey was saying something like 10 years now or something like that. They've been sponsoring Sim500. So Glenn's a treasure here, and we're privileged to have him with Sim500, and he's quite the character, and their sponsorship is very valued. And Turn 1 heroes. I mean, 1st, 5th, and 8th tonight. Scotty again comes home to a 5th place finish driving through a wreck.
Right.
And he wins Wednesday in the trucks, and I bounce back and win tonight, and Chuck brings it home 8th. So great finish for the team. And again, shout out to Eric for helping me there at the end, and thanks to all the admins and everyone at Sim500. And thanks to the Smoking Hot Wife for giving me the opportunity to do this a few times a week.
Absolutely. And I got to ask, well, actually, I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to throw it out there. Does this make Charles Van Schaik the favorite to win the Daytona 500K in a month?
Hey, go to Vegas and put $5 on him, because the trifecta could be coming. Also, I wanted to say a shout out to John Mustian for helping me paint this car and getting the 2. Well, he'd done the 2 for me on another car, and I love that too. and I knew it would fit good on this paint scheme. So he painted that for me and put a sticker on the car. And I told him if I got a chance to talk to you, I'd mention his daughter Ashlyn, who passed away last year. And this wins for Ashlyn. And I was he put the sticker on. Well, actually, I don't have the sticker on this car yet. It's on the truck, but it will be on it. And I wanted to give that shout out for winning that one for her and bringing that home to victory lane too.
Well said. And I have to say, as I look at that number 2 and me being that person that's very nostalgic, I get Ricky Craven vibes out of that 2 car. Yeah. As the old, what was his sponsor? It was DuPont. Yeah. So, yeah.
He had DuPont.
Yes.
Came from the Busch North Series. And it was, 2's my number. And I liked Ricky, and that was always a favorite of mine. So I stole it and put it on the car for this year.
And I believe finished second to Steve Grissom in 93 in points.
Old stretch neck.
Something like that. Yeah, no kidding on that. So let me leave you with this stat. This is something that you'll probably be sleepless with tonight. Last season, you won Daytona and led 1 lap. Tonight at Daytona, you led 2 laps. And you get your second win at Daytona. There you go.
So next year, we'll go for the trifecta, and I'll lead 3.
If you lead 3, dude, I will... I don't know what I'll do. I'll have to figure it out for the next year. So great job tonight, man. And I get an extra day to think about it this year, too.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next week.
You too, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy. Mike Kelly, the winner in Daytona again. You are not watching Groundhog Day. Mike Kelly wins again at Daytona in what was a wild race, man. First things first, I appreciate the viewers for watching this race. I'm going to put a highlight thing together. It's something I've started to do. And I'm going to put some highlights together and send it with the Sim500 crew. I'm actually going to surprise them down here and tell them about it. I don't even think they know. And we'll get that posted on YouTube so you guys can watch the highlights of this race. But, of course, it'll be ready for you after this race. Give it a little bit of time, and I think you'll be able to watch it again if you want to on demand. What a race it was. I might have to do like a best of and show this race sometime this week again to the viewers. This was fantastic stuff, as always, here at Daytona. So, big shout out to 811 for sponsoring the series. A big shout out to Joey Jatina for allowing me to come back again and be a part of one of the best leagues in all of iRacing. I am so humbled, and I feel honored to be able to broadcast the best leagues in iRacing throughout each and every week. And that's why I was so excited, and I felt like I needed to step my game up to cover the action here. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the broadcast here. Big shout out to Sam Barnes for helping with some of the graphic work that he has done for me here this season. He is a great guy that has done a lot of things for me, and not only that, he just became a father for the first time. So a big shout out to him. And also James Parfit. You guys probably don't know that name, but he's part of a broadcasting company that's out there streaming. And he actually did all the work you see on the timing and scoring that was on the screen tonight. That was him. He did all that work, and big shout out to him for what he has done to help me out with that. So I want to give him a special shout out for making me look half as good as I try to look. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to the viewers for watching on the stream here tonight. As we head out, we hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I just want to make sure I play the right song here for... Let's play that one. Yeah. Let's head out. And remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!